Chloe's Confessions. Hello everyone, my name is Chloe Alice and welcome to my YouTube channel. We're gonna do something a little different today. We're gonna do like a story time, but I don't like the way that story time sounds. So we're gonna call it Chloe's Confessions. So, the very first Chloe's Confessions is my coming out story. I get a lot of questions from people that say how to come out or when's the right time to come out, how should I come out, and coming out is something that is very personal to you and everybody comes out different. There's no wrong or right way necessarily to come out, so I'm just gonna kind of give you what I did and what kind of happened throughout my whole entire like coming out process, and maybe you can learn from it. If not, or you can learn to just not do what I did. Let's get into it. So it started around when I was 12. I kind of knew that I was different. I had sisters, I had some stepsisters that were kind of close to my age. They were a little younger than me. We would put all of our like winter clothes into our garage. Like late at night when nobody was like paying attention to me, I would go into like the garage where all the clothes are, and I would find myself like wanting to try on my sister's clothes. And I was like, this is weird. You know, I'm 12 years old. I don't really know a lot, you know, but I definitely know that like most cis boys, you know, aren't doing this. So that was kind of the first thing that I felt was kind of strange. So then a couple years pass, my friend invited me to this church and I started going to church. Nothing really strange kind of happened leading up the next couple years, so like 13 and 14. Around 15 or 16, I started getting this urge again to like want to try on women's clothing and like want to be pretty and cute and stuff like that. I would go to like JCPenney. And so in JCPenney, they have like, they have changing rooms, but there's not really like anybody watching. Cause I was super scared. Like I didn't want anybody to like know that I was like going into the dressing room with like women's clothing. So I could like look in the mirror and be like, oh my God, I'm so cute, you know? But that's what I would do. And then it would feel so bad and terrible that like I would have to take it all off and then put it back on the rack, you know, and then leave without getting anything. It was like almost like a high. Like I felt really good. I felt cute and stuff like that. But then I knew I couldn't do anything about it. I had a girlfriend at the time, and then I kind of expressed these feelings that I was having, and she was like, okay, cool. So then like she would kind of like let me borrow some of her clothes and we would like talk about it. And then we ended up breaking up, and then we were both in the church together. She told the youth pastor about me. So then the youth pastor had a sit down talk with me and was like, you know, you can't really do this. I was becoming more involved in the church, and some kids were like looking up to me as kind of like a role model. So my youth pastor told me that I had to stop doing this, like that this was not cool. It was not like the Christian way, and I just had to stop. I listened to him, and I kind of kept it under wraps, and that was okay for about, you know, a year or two. And then I would just get that urge again. Like it's like almost uncontrollable. And I never really understood why this was. My brother now, Blaine, if you watch the video, I'll kind of link the video right here. My brother's coming out story. I kind of talked a little bit about this as well. My brother tried to come out earlier. He ended up not being able to, but that's kind of like the first time that I really heard the word trans and like what that was. The way that he was talking, I kind of felt the same way. I was like, oh, I didn't even know that you could do that. Like that's a thing. There's people like this in the world. That got me really curious, so I started watching YouTube videos and I started like looking online at like trans women, and it really made me feel comfortable and know that like I'm not this super weirdo. You know, there are people out in the world that are just like me. So around 19 years old, I met this girl that was at the church, and we started becoming a thing. We were like living with each other and stuff. I was starting to get the feelings again. So I had messaged my brother Blaine, and I was like, hey, I just want to kind of like know what's going on and what kind of happened in the situation of you like trying to come out. Basically coming out to Blaine right then and there. And he kind of told me the situation. Well, then my girlfriend at the time was really nosy and liked reading like my messages and stuff. So she saw the message of me talking to Blaine and she was like, whoa, we need to like talk about this. What's going on? So basically I had to tell her the whole situation and how I felt. And she was definitely okay with it. I kind of started like coming out and starting my transition when I was 19, when that happened. I would like do my makeup at the house and like wear like girl clothes at the house. Then I had to go to work and I didn't tell my work yet. They had no idea that I was doing this. And then I would show up with makeup sometimes. Like I tried to like wipe it off and some people were like, are you wearing makeup? And I'm like, no, shut up. But then this lasted for about 3 weeks. My girlfriend at the time was like, listen, we need to have a talk because I'm not attracted to girls. And if you keep doing this, then I don't know if we can like continue seeing each other. So if you love me, you're gonna stop this. So once again, I had to stop. It was definitely hard. I mean, I was already 3 weeks doing this, you know, I was super happy. I had texted my parents and told my parents, literally, I was sitting downstairs at my job and like bawling in tears because I was texting my parents and telling them that like how I felt. Their replies were like super supportive, like we're gonna love you no matter what. Didn't turn out to be that way for a little while. It's definitely more chill now. For a little while they definitely weren't having it, but I had told them, you know. And so then when my girlfriend at the time wanted to like not let me do it because of her own likes and wants and stuff, it definitely tore me down and it sucked. Another 1.5 years later, I try and stop it completely, but then I just kept getting that urge. It just kept like, there was no stopping it. Every time that I would like think that I was okay with not thinking about it, it would always creep back. So then I would be so curious. Like I wanted to watch more YouTube videos. I found some women that I really enjoyed watching. The only time that I could do it is when I was like late at night. So I'd be like on my phone when my girlfriend was asleep. She would either like wake up or she would like get up in the morning and then like I was asleep and she would check my history and she would find that I was like watching trans videos. So then she would have a sit down with me and say, I thought we were done with this. Like, what do you mean? Like, why do you keep watching this stuff? Why do you keep like bringing this up? And it hurt. Like I felt like I couldn't express myself. I felt like I couldn't like be myself. She would always get upset. Finally decided to split ways. And I think it took like a week. Or maybe not even, after we had decided to not see each other anymore. And I started my transition. 22 years old, I went to this bar. I didn't have any friends because I wasn't allowed to have friends. And I made some friends. And the 2 friends that I made happened to be gay individuals. And I felt so comfortable with expressing how I felt to these guys. And they were so loving back to me. And it was so awesome to be able to finally like express how I feel and somebody to be like super accepting with it. So it just kind of catapulted me. I like started wearing makeup to work and not caring. And like people were asking me questions and I'm like, look, I don't know what's going on, but I can be myself and I'm just gonna be myself. And like, if this ends up being something that I do, then awesome, you know? And if not, at least I tried. It was just so awesome to be able to have somebody that like cared about me, you know? And these people hardly knew me. They just knew that it was okay to be different, you know? And it was okay to express your feelings. I think at that moment, I finally knew that like I was myself and I was gonna transition and this was gonna be my life and I was gonna let myself dictate what I do with my life and not really care what anybody else has to say. It felt great. It was so euphoric. Yeah, I lost friends. With all those people that I lost, I gained new friends. You know, I built another relationship with my family. Like, I didn't lose as much as I thought that I was gonna lose in the whole process. And instead, I gained confidence in myself. I gained like confidence in new friends and people who were still my friends after my transition. I've never looked back. There's never been like a second thought of, why did I do this? You know, I'm 3.5, almost 4 years transition now. And like, I'm the happiest I've ever been. Like, I've got a loving boyfriend. I've got a whole bunch of new amazing friends that care about me. I've got you guys, and it's definitely been like the coolest freaking experience to go through, and it's super awesome. So thank you, and thank you everybody for allowing me to do this. And like, you know what, screw it, thank me for having the courage to like come out, you know, and do this. And it's been a journey. It's definitely been a journey. And it continues to go every day. And I will continue to document everything that kind of occurs for you guys for educational purposes, you know. Who knows? Somebody might take a bit of what I say and it might help them in the future. And that's kind of all I want, really, is to be able to help the people that were in my situation like 4 years ago, you know, like wanting to come out, you know, 5 years ago, not being able to come out because you're told no, you know, or, you know, 10 years ago, thinking that you're just a terrible person for like even having these thoughts, like you're a bad influence, like you're not allowed to do that. You know, I want you to be able to know that you are allowed to be yourself. It is okay to be different. Who cares what those people think? All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. That was the first installment of Chloe's Confessions, my coming out story. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you like took a piece of it and you're like, oh, I relate to that. And maybe it'll help catapult you into coming out and not caring what people think. You know, it's gonna be hard, but time heals all wounds. It's 4 years now and I'm freaking happier than ever. So I hope you guys have a wonderful afternoon and check out my videos, like, subscribe if you have not. Bye guys, love you. Chloe's, don't do that. Confessions. Oh my.